Okay, good morning everybody. I've been making fuggy, or also known in English as stir fry pho noodle. And first, what you do is you have to buy this brand of noodle. This is the dry noodle brand. I bought this pack for $5.99 at one of the Monk store. It runs from $5.99 to $8.99 depending on where you go. So once I have the 33A or 33A, in blue writing, and then the other side, it's called instant noodle pho. Okay, and they have the Dragonfly brand. So this is how it looks like. When you first start making the noodle, there's like portion in here. So if you have a big family, you can do 2 portion. If it's only one small family, like for 3 or 4 people, it will be using just 1 portion. Okay, so this is the one portion, like this much right here. Here's the other separation right here of the portion. So what you do is you're gonna take it out of the bag, and you're gonna go ahead and soak it in cold water. Not warm or hot, okay? Just straight cold water for about, I would say, like at least 2 hours. And once it's soaked, it will look like this here. So it should look like that, nice and soft. And once that is done, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and drain it. And after you drain it, to let it sit back in the bowl and in a separate pot, you're gonna go ahead and heat some water until it gets boiled, and then put this inside the pot. So I'll show you that here in a minute. Okay, and here's my pot of water. I'm gonna wait until it gets really hot and boiling, and that's when I go ahead and put the noodle inside. And while we're waiting for the pot, let's go get the other ingredients started. Okay, so this little pan would be for my garlic oil, which I go ahead and show you guys how to do that in a bit. And then here, this is my frying pans for my eggs. We're gonna fry some eggs, turn them to an omelet, and then chop it up. And then this little guy right here is where we're gonna make the sauce, okay? With the sugar sauce to drizzle over the noodle. So I'll show you guys how to do that also. Let's go ahead and get started on the eggs first. So in this bowl, I cracked 12 eggs, and then I'm gonna go ahead and beat it up. Okay, that's perfect. And then in here, I'm heating the pan, and I'm gonna put some oil in here so that way I can go ahead and fry the eggs. Yeah, I don't like a lot of oil, so I'm just gonna put like a little bit like that. Okay, and in this double bag or double sandwich bag, I can put some garlic in there so I can go ahead and smash it up and make my garlic oil. I'm gonna put about like a whole garlic, or you know what? Let's just do half of the garlic in here, and then we'll just mash it up. Okay, so here's my egg omelet. It'll fry for a little bit, and then I'm gonna take it out and then chop it up into strip or bite piece, so in strip-like form. Okay. For my garlic, I decided to go ahead and use the whole garlic. This is how much I have. Keep all the skin. Okay, we're gonna fry all the skin in with the garlic itself. So let's go ahead and smash it up. Okay, so I'm just gonna use one of my rolling pins to smash it up really good like this. I didn't just double bagging it so that when I smash it up, the bag doesn't pop and it doesn't start going anywhere like here, right here. This one pop down. Okay, and in this deep frying pan, I put about, I would say like half a cup to almost a cup, depending on how much oil you want. So I went ahead and put half a cup of oil in here. I'm gonna make sure it's nice and hot, and then I'll just throw in my garlic so we could just fry that up. Okay. Okay, this dish mainly, if you want, you could add, add in some meat. Otherwise, you don't have to. But I'm adding in one piece of chicken breast and shrimp. So I'm making a shrimp and chicken stir-fry noodle. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cook this until it's fully cooked, and I'll chop it up and add it in. So this is my egg omelet right here. I'll go ahead and chop it up, and I'll show you guys how. Okay, so I'm gonna cut it in half. Gonna fold it up. I'm gonna chop it in half again, like that. And then I'll go ahead and slice it up this way, okay? And just chop it in strip like this. About like a finger length, okay? That's how you're gonna chop it up. And here's my garlic oil. The oil is nice and hot, so I went ahead and dumped the garlic in there. Okay, and then I just went ahead and turn off the flame because it's nice and golden brown. And I'll go ahead and set this aside until when it's ready, and then I'll go ahead and dump it into my noodle. You need this to make the noodle, not stick together, because once you cook it, it will be all clumped up. So using the oil will help separate it. I have some green onions and some cilantro here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and slice this up into thick slice. I'm using Asian green onion. You don't have to. You can use any green onions that you have, but this is what I have in the fridge, so this is what I'm going to use. So here it is. This is how I chop it. I just chop it nice and rough chop. There we go. And this is the cilantro. I'm going to set this aside and use it when I'm ready to use it. Using the pre-cooked shrimp, which is already peeled and delined. I'm just making it easier for me. That way I don't have too much work to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just rinse this up, set it aside, and then use it when I'm when I'm ready to use it. Okay. Just gonna rinse it up and drain it off. So my water is nice and hot and boiling. I know it's not that boiling because it's on the kitchen stove, but that's how high my flame is, so that's how high the pot will be. And I'm gonna go ahead and put this in here. Then I'm gonna go ahead and stir it for just about 1 minute. Okay. You can make it as soft as you can or you like, but too soft won't be won't be good. So I'm just gonna put in here for just a minute. That'll be perfect. Since it's already been soaking in water, so I don't need it to be in here that long. So stir it around. Now I'll go ahead and strain it back into the bucket and put it, run it through nice cold running water to stop the cooking. Okay, so go ahead and strain that out. That is perfect. Okay, I'm straining in this basket. Okay, and then I'll put it back into the bowl, and I'm gonna run it through cold water, strain it again, run it back into cold water, and keep on straining until the noodle is nice and cold, okay? And that you can actually touch it. It's not hot, which will burn your hand. That's when it'll be good, and you're gonna fully strain it out. Okay, since my noodle had cooled down, I went ahead and set it in here. And make sure it's all fully drain out the water. And then we'll go ahead and get it started on the sauce, and then mix everything in. We call it stir-fry noodle, which is actually you don't stir-fry the noodle into the oil or anything. you're just gonna pour everything onto the noodle. It tastes a lot better than, you know, stir frying it, because when you stir frying it, the noodle gonna be super soft and it's not gonna be good. So doing it this way, the noodle will be nice and tender and just perfect. Not too soft, not too hard, but just like the perfect bite. These are the sauce I'm using to make my sauce with the sugar syrup. I'm using the black soy sauce, which is 1/3 cup. I'm using the seasoning sauce, which is also 1/3 cup. And then I'm using the sweet soy sauce, which is 1/2 cup, okay? I'm going to mix all that together into my caramelized sugar, which I'll go ahead and show you guys how to make that. In my saucepan, I put some MSG in here, about 1/3 teaspoon of MSG. I'm just using it so it doesn't burn my sugar. That's all. Okay, and then in comes my sugar. I'm using 1/2 cup of sugar. You don't want to use too much sugar because all those, you know, seasoning sauce and soy sauce and sweet soy sauce is already sweet enough and salty enough, so you don't need it to have that much. I'm gonna go ahead and keep on stirring on high heat until it gets caramelized, and then I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heat down to low, and then add in my sauce. So I'm going to go and keep on stirring until it caramelizes. Once the sugar starts coming together like this, I'm going to go ahead and lower the heat to low. And then keep on stirring it. Okay, you don't want to fully caramelize the sugar. So this, you know, once it looks like this, it will be perfect. And we'll go ahead and add in the sauce. Okay, so I'm adding in my sauce here. So once you adding your sauce, it's gonna be like this. You're gonna keep it on low heat, stirring it back and forth. There will be clumps, but what I do is when I pour it into the noodle, I go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and strain this out. Okay. So while it's on low heat, I'm gonna be adding in 3 tablespoons of the chicken flavor soup base. This kind. Look like this. Okay, I always use this because it tastes better. I'm gonna go ahead and add in 3 tablespoons. Just give it an extra flavor. No salt, because all this already have enough salt, including the chicken flavor soup base mix that have tons of salt. So this is all I'm gonna use. You don't want it to boil. You just want it to make sure everything is all mixed it in, and then we're gonna turn off the heat and go ahead and mix our noodle. So we're going to turn it off and mix our noodle. Okay, I'm putting my glove on, so I'm going to go ahead and mix it. And first I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pour in the oil, garlic oil, and then mix it really good. So I'm just going to mix it back and forth using my hand. You don't want it to like squeeze it really hard, so you know, or else it's going to break all the noodle apart. But just, you know, toss it around. So this is what I did. I went ahead and strained the, you know, the sauce in here. Just gonna throw that away. And then I'm gonna go ahead and drizzle